We are up to the third section of the Melachot, of the 39 Melachot, and this section involves making parchment for writing as they would do in the desert in the time of the Mishkan. So think about it. The easiest way to remember as many as possible is ask yourself, if you were in nature and looking to write on parchment, what would be all of the steps that you needed to take in order to get to that letter writing? It's hard to imagine today. We have such an easy time texting, typing, etc. But think about it. What would it really take for you to be able to get a parchment and to write in those days? So the first one is obvious. Tzad, you would have to hunt and trap the animal that you're going to use its skin. And so hunting of any sort, trapping any kind of animal on Shabbat is forbidden. It could be a fly, a rhinoceros, a deer, whatever it is, any kind of trapping of an animal is forbidden. It's important to note that if an animal is already, so to speak, trapped, your cat at home or anything, any animal that's really domesticated and is not in freedom, then the prohibition does not apply. I'm not sure if your dog is running in the park, if that qualifies, but definitely if your cat's at home, there's no trapping on it. That's the first one. The next one after that is the melacha of Shochet. You have to kill the animal, slaughter it. So any taking a life of an animal, again, whether it's a fly, a rhinoceros, or whatever it is, you shouldn't be killing rhinoceroses either way, but any kind of killing of any sort of an animal, even an insect, is forbidden on Shabbat. The next one after that is Mafshit, skinning. This is not something that really comes up in our lives, in our world, unless you're, and have a business connection to this, but Mafshit, skinning the animal, is the next melacha. The next melacha is me'abed, processing. So that comes up with animals, but it also comes up in our lives. Processing means they would take salt and rub the skin of the animal. They would salt it. They would put it in the sun to dry. So any kind of processing is forbidden. Rabbis say that even if a person wants to pickle cucumbers, they should not do that on Shabbat, because that's a form of processing. You take the salt and you transform the cucumbers into pickles. That's a form of creation of me'abed, and it should not be done on Shabbat. The next melacha is Memachek, smoothing. So if the skin has been already salted and dried, it is then smooth, Memachek. That's forbidden. So an example of that would be if someone takes wood and they take a file and they smooth out the wood. That is the melacha of Memachek. The next melacha after that is Mesartet. What do you do once you have a dry and ready to go piece of leather and you want to use it as parchment? You then go and draw lines and sort of outline where it is that you would like to be writing. That is the melacha of Mesartet. You draw out how exactly you want to be doing it. Then, once you have an outline of how you want your page, the square, to look, then you start cutting it. Mechatech is the next melacha. Any kind of cutting according to a specific design is forbidden. That is the melacha of Mechatech. After Mechatech, you have the moment we have all been waiting for. What's that? That is Kotev, writing. Writing any kind of permanent letter is forbidden, and that is the melacha of Kotev. If you would make a mistake back then, you couldn't just delete it. You had to really erase it if you wanted to use the place that you already wrote on. And so the next melacha is Mochek. Any letter that is forbidden to be written on Shabbat cannot be erased. That is the melacha of Mochek. And that brings us to the conclusion of the 8 melachot that have to do with writing on Shabbat. So let's quickly go through them. The first one again is tzad, hunting an animal. After that, shochet, slaughtering, killing any kind of animal. Mafshit, skinning an animal. Me'abed, processing of any kind, whether it's the skin or anything else, is forbidden. Memachek, smoothing out, using something to smooth other things out, is forbidden. Mesartet, drawing out exact lines in order to execute something. Mechatech, cutting, is forbidden. And then Kotev, writing, and Mochek. Thank you so much for listening. please join us for our final section of the Melachot. These are the more miscellaneous ones. We'll be doing it in the next video. Thank you so much for listening.